Hi y'all, I'm Chase. This is my 2021 Harley-Davidson Pan America Special, affectionately known as Wichita. And today, well, we're going to talk about, well, it's kind of a sad subject. A lot of people think that if you ride a Harley, you pretty much hate everyone else. And, well, that's just not true. I know it seems that way because that's what you hear online. That's what you see, I mean, even on TV, but it's a joke. It's a meme. It's not true. Guys that ride Harleys, a lot of them, including myself, they have had other bikes. They have owned other bikes. They have ridden other bikes. Myself, I've had a Kawasaki ZX6R. I've also had an Aprilia Shiver. So, yeah. But we all pretty much start out on a Japanese, well, a dirt bike or something. Or, like I was talking to a guy today, both of us, the very first thing we ever rode was a mini bike. And, oh crap. And while his was back in the 70s, so he might have actually rode something that was made in the USA. Mine was definitely made in, well, probably China or Taiwan or something like that. This was in the 90s. So, yeah. But we all started out riding something that was not a Harley. I mean, there are guys, I'm sure, someone will chime in and say, first thing I ever rode was a Sportster. Or one of those Aramachi with little dirt bike kind of things, or dual sports with a small engine on it, you know, that was branded into a Harley that was, well, made in Italy. I mean, yeah, great. But the norm is the majority of guys, it's guys like me. So, it's not like these guys didn't start out on something that was other than a Harley. And it's not like they don't like, man, what is it today? I'm going to meet every single one of these big, huge vehicles that are coming up the road. Not sure why, but we all started on something that wasn't a Harley. The majority of us. Let's say probably like 95%. So, don't believe that everyone that rides a Harley hates every other style of bike. I know I'm not the weirdo here, because I'm not the only one that I've seen that will go to a bike night or a group ride and go and check out everyone else's bikes. And that it will include, you know, was it one of the group rides? Some guy showed up. He showed up on an Indian to a Harley group ride. Another guy was riding a Suzuki SV650. Do you know how much shit they caught? None. None whatsoever. In fact, there were a bunch of guys going, yeah, you know, that's what I started out on. I got an SV650, the first thing I got. Oh man, that's the new Indian FTR Carbon 1200. Oh, that's a cool bike. I really would. How's it ride? Is it really fast? Maybe it was, I don't know. Maybe it was like a silent generation, or I don't know. A silent generation thing, or maybe even a boomer generation kind of thing where, wow, you're gonna stay on your own side of the road there, bud? But I think with Gen X and after, yeah, we're pretty much cool with whatever you want to ride, because, you know, Gen X saw the rise of, you know, like Japanese sport bikes. And more than a few of my, you know, the older guys that I know, and even, you know, millennials and stuff, we've seen, well, we've seen the world not in the same manner as people that are older than us did. You know, we saw other things come in. I mean, honestly, I like Triumphs. I like those too. So, I mean, that Rocket 3, oh god, I'd like to ride one of those, but I mean, you see where I live, back on the gravel, probably not the best place for a Rocket 3. But that's what I mean, you know, we all have these little, you know, bikes that we like. I love those 90s and early 2000s, you know, like Honda, you know, like I like RC51s and I like Blackbirds, and you know, we got to see all these different types of bikes. And if you wanted something that was going to do some serious speed, you pretty much had to get one. Now, I don't have to do that anymore, being that I have Wichita here, and Harley makes one hell of a RevMax motor for these now, so I don't have to do that. But if I want a sport bike, that's the way I'm going to go. And a lot of guys that ride Harleys, they've ridden the other stuff too. And yes, you will get a occasional boomer that will say, oh, it's not a Harley, it's junk. But that's not even the norm, even with boomers. And a lot of that was due to their fathers. When Japan first started importing stuff, it wasn't the greatest. It was kind of like how everyone how the Chinese have a stigma around importing cheap crap. And mostly that's because, you know, when I was a kid in the 90s, if you got something that was from Japan or, you know, somewhere else, it was usually fairly well made. But stuff that was made in China, it just, let's just say quality control was intermittent at best. Sometimes you'd get something great. Your buddy could get a CD player that, man, it was perfect, never broke down, ran forever, and then you were the unlucky bastard that got the CD player that, well, it died in the first week you had it, and you had to go back and exchange it, and then that one died too. So that's where that stigma of Chinese junk comes from. The Japanese had the same issues because when they first started getting, you know, trying to build their economy, they were having the same kind of problems. You know, stuff was made of cheaper tin or steel or aluminum, and it just didn't last. So, but you know, in the 80s, that started to change. And while boomers, there are still some, may look at, you know, anything other than a Harley, you know, and it's even rare among them as junk. Ask them what car they drive. I mean, seriously, I see a lot of guys that are riding Harleys. If you see them and they're not on their bike, they're driving a Honda Civic or an Accord or a Lexus. I mean, seriously. So, don't let anyone dissuade you. If you don't have to ride a Harley, seriously, you don't have to. And don't believe the internet murmurs that every Harley rider hates you, or that every Harley rider won't wave to you because you're on something other than a Harley. I mean, honestly, I have video, I think it's on this card right now, of Harley riders in a group ride. There's a bunch of, like, you know, besides me on my weirdo Pan Am, besides me, a bunch of Harley riders waving at guys that were on, like, sports bikes and stuff. And they weren't Harley sports bikes, I can tell you that. So don't believe that. That's craziness. It's not something that everybody's doing anymore. Or at least I don't even know if it really was a thing. Maybe back in the 80s. But it's not real anymore. It's kind of overblown, out of proportion silliness. You know, I think it's this, like, what is it, due to, like, Sons of Anarchy or something, I don't know. And even in that, I remember something, what is it, I don't think they even had a problem with sport bikes even, so at least I don't remember them saying crap about a sport bike, except for some sport bike rider getting the shit kicked out of him because he sat on one of the guy's bikes or something. I don't know. But yeah, ride whatever you want. No one's going to give you shit if they're on a Harley, and if they do, I mean, seriously, they're like a 1 in a million person at this point. I mean, you can literally say something along the lines of, okay, boomer. That might actually piss them off because it's a Bernie Sanders reference, and, well, for some reason people really hate that guy, but okay, whatever. Or is it the girl that said it? I don't know. I try not to pay attention to too much of that stuff, so. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And honestly, I mean, I'll wave to a guy if he's on a Tomos moped, seriously. Also, like and subscribe. I guess that stuff helps with the YouTube algorithm. And thank you for watching, lads and lasses. Stay stubborn. Seriously, get out there and ride. Nobody cares what you're on. Just that you're on two wheels. Bye, y'all.